Well, just going on YouTube, this is Acid Roots. So I'm going to review a 2009 album by Lil Flip. Basically, this product is called Underground Legend 2, and it came out in the late fall of 2009. Now, fair about this particular product here is just the fact that it's not really available within that much commonplace within the pitch behind it. So the thing about it is just the fact that I was only able to find about 10 songs of the 20 on this album as far as these pairs can happen. It's not on Spotify, wasn't really on iTunes, pitches like that. So it's kind of a obscure type product to be able to locate as far as being able to purchase it. Wasn't on eBay. It might be on Amazon. I didn't check on there, but it's just kind of the pitches for saying it's kind of a low-key type product that for the most part the commonplace information, this overall product of it is kind of disappeared. Now, mind you, it did release in late 2009, which is quite some time ago within those pitches, but it's a good format that there are some relative leftovers of this product, so this is kind of a partial review. I got enough songs I found enough songs off this project to at least be able to do half of it. It's kind of the pitch that it does make me question some of these other type ones that kind of had the appeal. But I looked after it within the pitch, particularly Lil Flip kind of did like a pseudo music video where he was at least in the studio with a couple cats, one of which did the hook off that particular song, which is I'm Back. So I'm going to talk about that song as if that was the single. But it's kind of the pitch as far as saying it seemed like a pretty wicked and vicious type album from the pitch. Now, within the fair, particularly, I have reviewed the first Underground Legend by Lil Flip, which came out in 2002. It's just not going to surface for quite some time, probably deep into 2026. The album with the hit song The Way We Ball on there within some of that pitch is going to be a little ways in 2026 before we get to that particular album. It's going to be a little ways before that particular review surfaces, but it's within the pitch as far as saying within the product. Yeah, this is a classic here. Out of the 10 songs that were still available out of this product, they're still floating around on YouTube. I recommend all 10, so at least the partial review of what I gathered of this product is going to get a 10 out of 10 within these pitches. So pretty banging type 1. Definitely wicked aspects from Little Flip pitches like this. So it's kind of the product. I'm going to get some more of these. But just be able to say, I'm going to talk about I'm Back because that was the one that had a music video for it, which was also seemingly on Lil Flip's also late 2000. Lil Flip dropped a series of albums in late 2009 or around that time, pitches like that, one of which was also Respect Me, which I'm going to get to later within those pitches. But yeah, that's a nice one. I'm Back's like a basic kind of late day song. I'm Back's like a basic lazy kind of late day grazing and coast to kind of get within the product of it here. Just some ride shine. I would definitely song is definitely some ride shine, I'd say, and routine push as far as those aspects going to happen. Just kind of a good song to grab Sonic, some of those pitches within it. Kind of a radio grab as well. It's kind of the pitch as far as saying just good, nice flair for that particular product. It's one of those type ones that's just typical kind of on the scene, just in a lazy type sense. Late summer kind of past-timing pitches like that. Some type ordeals just picking up like a box of Swisher Sweets. Some type ordeals are just typical type product, getting a few Budweiser boxes. Some of those type pitches just typical kind of on the scene stunt. Just basic, just kind of grazing pitch like that. Just kind of the ordeal, just something within a town hop type sense. Just simple kind of flair, just low-key kind of errands pitches like that. Just picking up some standard supplies, getting like a wrench or something like that. Some type ordeals, just the product that like the after type fare. Getting some extra cologne, some of those type products within the pitch as far as this pitch kind of happen. It's a good type of ordeal. But I look after Discipline Flair. So yeah, the 10 songs I'm going to talk about within these pitches would be, I already talked about I'm Back, but I'm Back, Rent Due, She Like My Swagger, Trunk Banging Hard, Pass the Ganja, Keep It 1000, Nobody Understand Me, My Better Half, Flip and Note, which is an acronym, is FLIP and NOTE as far as this pitch can happen, and I Should Have Listened Part 2. It's kind of within the pitch as far as saying. So there are some nice ones on here. I would also say within the pitch, there are a few songs I did. There are a few songs I would like to listen to within those pitches that sounded pretty damn interesting with the pitch. I mean, I think there's plenty of these on here. I would also say, like, The Way We Ball Part 2 sounded interesting within those pitches, but some other type ones that sounded interesting that I was wanting to review within those pitches probably pretty I probably would have guessed that this probably would have been a classic score within these pitches. I think I probably would have wound up liking all 20 or pretty close to it within these pitches, but Getting Chips sounded like a nice one. Hate a Little Louder sounded like a nice one within those pitches. I definitely say Getting Chips probably would have been, hopefully, like, maybe Trunk Banging Hard, She Like My Swagger, some of those type ones. Just a good club hop within pitches like that in a more hustle type sense. Probably pretty similar to like Flip and Note as far as those pitches going to happen. Just a mixtape banger. Hate a Little Louder is kind of the pitch. That is good. That Hate a Little Louder is like a good, nice flair to kind of birds the haters pitches like that as far as those pitches can happen. Just good type fair. Probably has a good aspect about that one. Just a spice to that. Stiletto Hustler, that sounds like a nice one as well. That probably sounds like within the pitch as far as saying to something within the product. Like talking about talking about hoe ass niggas or something like that, something within those pitches as far as those pairs gonna happen just within the pitch behind it. Could also be a female hustler, but probably just a diss type song within those pitches as far as those pairs gonna happen. But I look after it had Big Shasta on there, who is an old affiliate of Lil Flip for folks who remember those particular days, good pitches like that. He goes back probably, I don't know if he goes back as far as like albums like The Leprechaun, but I want to say he was on the original Underground Legend pitches like that. But yeah, good pitch. So yeah, I'm going to talk about these songs. So Rent Due is nice on here. It's like a solid day glaze kind of get. Nice day glaze serenade. Just a Tupac style kind of makeshift grab, I'd say, within those pitches. It's kind of a song for shit is real pitches like that. Just typical kind of hustle within those aspects. Very similar to like a song by Lil Scrappy, like Living in the Projects, sounds that pitches. Just a lazy kind of golden and yellow type day, just with an aspect to like the dredge, like particularly just project and ghetto type songs in the pitch. It's a chum-along type song. It's not so much within the pitch of like hurting for cash, hand them out that horribly within the pitch, but just kind of product just realizing the struggle is real, the bills are real, pitch like that as far as those first gonna happen. So dismiss the ordeal like that standard push along. It's good to get some of those Project Pat, 36 Mafia, do some of these type ones, Young Bucks, some of these type folks have these particular type ones in like a slumish type sense, a good type fare. Relaxing type one on here that really relaxing one on here that makes me want this album pretty well is Trunk Bangin' Hard. It's like a throwback to mid-2000s kind of ringtone rap kind of banger pitch just like that. Just some show out type song. It's a good show out type song pitch just like that. Just Trunk Bangin' Hard's like a good show out type song pitches like that. It's definitely got some slam about it, and I'd say it's a good song for like some hard liquor shots pitches like that as far as those OGLs come. So just within the pitch like that, Tipple Turn Up just takes it right back to 2006, early 2007, some of those type pitches within the format. Other type products of this particular glare, I would definitely say Lil Flip had songs like this on I Need Mine from 2007 as far as those pitch can happen to some of those type products that feels like D4L and feels like D4L and Lil Scrappy songs that pitch definitely type banger. Probably need to be more. Hopefully there's more songs like this off this particular album. And I'd say She Like My Swagger's a nice one. It's like a good vintage kind of late 2000s kind of MySpace and dance venue glitz to kind of go within these products here. Just some jazzy kind of step outs as far as those first albums. So there's some hooky type ones. This was a product like the late 2000s type flair back in like that was some of that MySpace type glitz pitches like that. Some of those type ones for like the particular flair or disc. Strike a pose pitches like that as far as those deals kind of happen just within the pitch as far as just getting towards it. This particular kind of gliss factor real high. Number of gliss songs on here. Definitely like the pitch of this kind of being like a sparkly kind of iced out type album within the pitch as far as those formats kind of happen. This jazziness, definitely a pretty jazzy and just minty type album within the pitch. Songs like She Like My Swagger, Past the Ganja in certain senses, My Better Half, some of these ones, at least some of the ones that are available for me to notice within these pitches. Probably relatively nobody understand me selling stuff pitches, but just a good type factor to have like some commercial bites for those first gonna happen. I'm Back is kind of like that in like a lazier type sense, just a typical routine kind of push along, but good type fares. Bobby Moon does a nice hook on She Like My Swagger, so good pitches like that, similar to like the cat that did the hook on I'm Back, pitches like that. Past the Ganja is nice as well. This is like a good Young Money style kind of evening scene frolic to kind of get like a glissy sense that I'd say here. So it's just this sort of pitch, some of those type ones that you would think of, like some of those T Streets type beats where you hear that cackle on the particular song pitch like that. Some of those type ones that definitely similar to like, I'm trying to think is Full Bound. Pretty much like songs like Every Girl and Bedrock, some of those type pitches, some of those type formats. Not so much Roger That, but some of those type ones, some of the album cuts off the We Are Young Money album pitches like that. Songs like some good spiffy kind of trot. This song's like some good spiffy kind of trots as far as those pitch albums. So just a nice wintry kind of glissy type rap song within a pitch. Shop out at the mall pitch like that. Buy hella clothes, some of that pitch within the product. Definitely within the fair talking about Past the Gone just within the pitch of being a smoke type song, but it doesn't feel as much full bound kind of like a smoking type song. I mean within kind of the fair as far as whether or not you just would be super kind of burnt within pitches like that, kind of in a giddy type mood or something like that. But it's kind of the more pitch of just like it's a little bit more glowy kind of frolic about it. So good pitches like that. Definitely a diva fit as far as those pitches have good type ordeals. My Better Half is kind of like that as well as the nice ones, like a nice glissy kind of MySpace kind of Bonnie and Clyde type commerce pitches like that. Basically like a song like I'm Back, but just a little bit more jazzed up pitches like that. Just kind of with diva nearby, just riding shotgun, good pitches like that. Just amidst like the fair of. It's like the fair, like some standard Traverse pitches like that, whether on foot or otherwise. It's good pitch. Just shop a bit to this particular song. Good pitches like that. Hit the town hard as far as this pitch can go. Kind of date afternoon. Good pitches like that. Just appreciate like the glamour, like city scene. Good pitches. Good strut and ballin' type song for some of those type pitches. Just pick up like good nice day fit to smoke a few with Bay as far as those pitch kind of happens. So excellent type ordeals as far as the pitch kind of happens. Hit the town, like I was saying, paint the town red, some type pitches within it. Flipping Notes, nice one as well. It's like a gnarled kind of mixtape style trap turn up to kind of get within the products of it, and money get as far as those pairs going to happen. Just some venue buzz, I would definitely say here. Just song for some goodies, pitches like that. So just kind of missed the ordeal. Kind of one of those type ones within pitch, like a trap type turn up within like future type fare when you think of songs like Racks and some of those type ones, and like Racks and Same Damn Time Zones type pitches. Not quite as ravenous as like Future got in 2011 pitches like that, but kind of like an entry type one. Some of those particular type products is like that particular style was starting to kick off a bit. Late 2009 pitches like that as far as those pairs were kind of having along with it. There are a few songs out this album that feel like some mixtape type bangers, so it's a good type pitch to get this particular fire. Just similar to C Note is on this song as well. Excellent type pitch for this. Excellent type pitch for this song. So just kind of a more hungry type one amidst like some trap turn up pitches like that. It's kind of within the fair. I mean, Lil Flip was kind of before, for the most part, trap music is full bound within the pitch, but he does have some of these type ones with at least a couple of times what I was seeing on this particular album was some good type pitch, because trap was really starting to get pretty rave turn. At least 2010s trap was really starting to get turned up with that sort of flair about it. I Should Have Listened Part 2 is nice as well. It's like a good sequel to the particular original type 1. I want to say I recommended that. This was a homebound type song, just like the pitch of like being on the first Underground Legend, but it's just a nice one here as well. It's this kind of pitch of like a chum along type song. It's like a chum along type song, pretty much like the same type aspect to I'm Back, but just kind of in a more reflect type sense. There's some day slag and observation I'd say about this one. Just kind of noticing like, hey, some things ain't right, pitch like that is kind of within the ordeal of this. Hindsight is 2020 type song pitch, just like that. It's kind of a mellow toke some as far as those pitch comes. So just reflect on that particular fare. Just Tupac and Lil Scrappy, Young Buck, some of these type folks are pretty good at these particular type songs. Plies is real good at these particular type songs pitch like that. It's kind of almost definitely like a Thug Life type song within pitch like that. Just some of that summer heat, just in a more glazed type aspect and a more overcast type day. So it's good type fare to have these like just good songwriting for Lil Flip as far as these pairs gonna have, and having more than just the turn up and ladies type songs and cars type songs pitches like that, sounds type products within it, and the standard gliss and the standard stunt and things like that. So it's a good in between type song within pitch. It is something that's not typically kind of in your face pairs like that. Trying to think of other songs I haven't talked about on here. I don't think I talked about Nobody Understand Me. Nobody Understand Me is like a glissy kind of step to it, and kind of a grind mode type song product. Nobody Understand Me is like a glissy kind of step to it, I'd say, within pitches like that. It's kind of a grind mode, kind of productive but fun type song within pitch. Definitely a little traverse and commute-centric pitches like that. Good, nice one to smoke a few and drip to as far as those pitches can happen. It's kind of like some late 2000s Gleam as far as those pitch can happen. Some of those type ones that just feels like the sort of pitch, the car glows up pitch like that. Some type aspects where there'd be Spotify in the whip and good pitches like some stunt type noise pitches like that. But it's kind of in more 2008, 2009, early 2010 type sense pitches like that. It's kind of a good low-key kind of nifty and stunt type song within pitches like that. Just the flair of the conduit type moments that just like some cruise rounds pitches like that as far as figuring out some next moves kind of pitches like that. But just kind of missed the pitch of getting like the day fare, like the relative leftover kind of day fare taken care of, but just kind of missed the pitch of this like also the turn up type factor kind of being a part of it as well. So it's just good pitch, kind of smoke on the go pitch like that. It's kind of a drift along as far as figuring out some next modes. So kind of pitch like that. Yeah. It is something to notice that kind of within the pitch, that at least these 10 songs I noticed on here within the pitch, I feel like despite the quality of these particular songs, kind of the pitch as far as saying it's unfortunate that Lil Flip kind of got hammered. It's kind of unfortunate that Lil Flip kind of more or less got shoehorned out of the spotlight, because he did not get much of a chance past 2004 within those pitches. I mean, he had a real commercial gem, probably a good highlight out of the 2000s decade with Sunshine was kind of the pitch that I think he was going to put out a double album in 2005 or early 2006 pitches like that, but I want to say that album leaked. Something happened with I Need Mine. Something happened with I Need Mine when it was going to come out in 2005. It was either label issues or the album leaked, something like that, and then particularly it came out in 2007, and then that particular album kind of somewhat leaked as well and didn't do as terrifically within the fair. That was pretty good, but it just didn't have the same commercial. So it's this kind of aspect of like a rote type hit that just felt like a typical kind of MTV, VH1, BET type staple, like The Way We Ball just wasn't as full bound on here. Just the pitch is something that kind of has that recitable type aspect to like The Way We Ball, something like that, or a Game Over, some of the pitch is kind of the format. It's not like this album didn't have it as full bound. It definitely does have the MySpace clips on here, some good satiny kind of songs for like Radio Appeal, nice kind of plush type factor about it, and like some ringtone rap type songs. But this kind of pitch, I almost would have questioned going with Trunk Bangin' Hard, but that one was kind of almost a relic within the pitch compared to the stuff that was going on late 2009. Was this kind of the pitch It felt like this album. I mean, this is a quality independent album from what I've seen behind it. Good pitches like that, but it's just kind of fair as far as one of those type ones that just has like the consistent kind of banging type of feel. That's about the only thing. Is just the pitch that it just probably needed like an anchor, because Lil Flip was pretty good at like that commercial bite that he had in like the early 2000s, but it just felt like after 2004 for some reason he just didn't. And he has dropped plenty of projects within the pitch. Not to say like that, but it's the pitch. These are pretty excellent. Like this is going to get a 10 out of 10 pitches like that, but it's just kind of fair. It's just unfortunate when you think of the number of hits that are actually to Lil Flip's name in terms of like the recognizable type ones, in terms of like a greatest hits playlist, something like that. You know, within pitches like that, it really just more or less is just Sunshine, Game Over, and The Way We Ball, some of those type of ones within that. But it's just kind of fair that it's not this particular album's fault within these formats, but it's just kind of picked that it just doesn't have like one of those type ones within the full bound time. That's at least what I noticed of these 10 songs on here. But it's not a bad album, so easily gets a 10 out of 10. It's just kind of pitched that just something that's real rote, and like when you think of songs like Shoulder Lean and Make It Rain, some of those type ones, and like a Millie by Lil Wayne, pitches like that, some of those type ones within some of those type fairs. Just kind of pitch as far as getting towards it, but that's this kind of product. Just kind of felt like Lil Flip kind of got shoehorned out of the spotlight a lot sooner than he probably should have. But it's a good type album, it's good sequel pitches like that, but it's just the fair that, I mean, the more I think about it, like the original Underground Legend was kind of shoehorned as well, because that only really had one single. Back in those particular days, they would like Bone Crusher, Lil Flip, some of those type folks. Bone Crusher only had Never Scared. I found out later on that he did have another single. There actually is a second single. I'll probably put in the connotation because it'd probably take a considerable amount of time to find it, or at least a relative amount of time to find it. But there were actually two singles off of basically Underground Legend ones. There is another one within those pitches. It didn't chart as heavily, but yeah, I'll put in the connotation as far as this one's gonna have. But there were two, but just it didn't have like the same capital type appeal and MTV pitches like that. But it's just kind of ordeal. That's the thing. So I would say I'm Back's a nice song, but it just doesn't have that same roteness and aspect as far as like an everyday type flair about it. But this is a classic album, so 10 out of 10. At least with the songs I was able to listen to, pitches like that. To say within those flares. I think I basically talked about all these. I don't think I talked about Keep It 1000. That's another nice one. I'm going to talk about this one, then we'll wrap this up. So Keep It 1000, it's like a vintage kind of late 2000s kind of Datpiff. Keep It 1000 is like a vintage kind of late 2000s Datpiff kind of mixtape hustle. Let's say here, just step out, definitely within those players. Very similar to like Drake and Meek Mill, some step products. When you think of Meek Mill, and songs like Get This Money off of Dream Chasers 1, some step pitches, just those typical kind of late 2000s kind of hustle songs, pitches like that. The song definitely has some slam about it. Particular kind of hit, Datpiff kind of gleam, late 2000s, early 2010s mixtape gleams, those pitches like that. It's a pretty trendy type album to say within those pitches, despite the fact that it just kind of being called Underground Legend within those pitches. It's not as commercial within full bound, but it is excellent type pitch to get some of these type ones. Just the hungriness is on here. Lil Flip definitely has inspired pitches like that. He does freestyle his lyrics, some of those type verses. It's a good aspect to get this bite on here. It does have, say it has commercial factor. It has commercial factor in terms of like the radio hooks and pitches like that. It's this kind of aspect that just kind of didn't get like the radio type of appeal. Songs like Game Over and Sunshine as far as this pitch out, but it is an excellent product. So yeah, 10 score, like I was saying. The social score, that's kind of tricky within the pitch. Now, because this album is not as commonplace available, I probably wouldn't give it a 10 social just because it's kind of tough to track down. Songs that are good, but it's kind of the pitch on top of that, just the lack of radio kind of. There is radio appeal about this album. Songs like She Like My Swagger, I'm Back, Keep It 1000, Pass the Ganja, My Better Half, some of these type ones. At least the songs from what I heard have some good radio kind of glass pitches like that, some lady-centric type ones. Like some Shop Till You Drop and Date Afternoons pitch like that. Some stuff first step out on the scene like a good kind of evening scene type frolic restaurant type flair pitch like that. Some stuff products, dance venue type noise. Some of stuff fairs, some good smoke type product. Definitely some good smokish songs on here. A little bit of drink within certain type products. Some in between kind of slumish kind of commerce and some in between kind of slumish and makeshift dredge kind of commerce type songs pitches like that. Just some good nice ones to smoke on the go pitches like that. Get those bills paid, get the tasks and day wrap up taken care of. So it's good pitches like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and say 9.5 social. I would give it a high. It probably would get a 10 if the album were just simply available pitches like that, and it just would have had like at least a more ravenous type hit like Lil Flip's early 2000s. It was this kind of pitch. Those are the two products about it, but it is good product just within the fair. But it's just the fact that these songs are just not easy to find within these pitches. I mean, it's probably available somehow within these products. I just questioned the availability, how to get to it within those fairs, but product is good. It's just kind of obscure. So that's the pitch point. So in terms of future, like Lil Flip, in terms of future, like Lil Flip's been working on some stuff for 2025 pitches like that. There are some more Lil Flip type reviews that are coming. Like I was saying, like I have Underground Legend that's eventually going to surface, and pretty much I'm going to get to some more Lil Flip later on within some of the projects. So some more on the way. Definitely good pitches like that. So check out the Lil Flip reviews playlist. Definitely has some stuff in there, good type players. But yeah, this is kind of tricky to track down type product, but it is worth it if you're able to find it, because it definitely does have some bangers on here and good, excellent kind of Datpiff type sense.